Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2. So, we're not advancing quite as quickly as I would like on the influence front. There's a couple of things responsible for that. The largest one is that all of our cool approval events ended and now we're back down to content. That's a problem because each planet has lost some influence production. The result of being ecstatic is considerably better than just being happy, and some of these worlds are even down at content, which is definitely unacceptable. So we need to get empire-wide happiness up. There's a lot of things we can do on some of these planets, but we also need to figure out, like, I'm debating whether it might even be worth it to uphold the Empire Entertainment and Education Initiative and actually drop our industry. I know this is something I never do, but like plus 20 approval on every system in the Empire is going to result in a lot of extra happiness. The other issue is that, remember, most of our systems are getting a lot of their influence from the National Museum, which doesn't work if you're at least happy, and is much more effective if you're ecstatic. These are all problems we gotta solve. Also, we should queue that up. So like, here in Duce, where we badly need our influence to go up because the Vaulters are encroaching heavily, we just don't have the approval to get any value at all out of our National Museum. 59% is not going to cut it. So like here, for example, we can run Stim City, and that'll be another 20 approval. That'll help. Colonial Rights will be another 10 right now. But we really have to get some empire-wide happiness as well. Actually, shuffling 2 people off of this world should give us a little bit of a push right away. We're so close. Okay. Well, that pushes us to happy, at least. The world's a little bit worse at production, but it does have science. Yeah, that's a good start. But we're gonna have to go through here and like check out every one of our systems. Make sure that they're populated in a sensible way. So I don't get access to the population values on this screen, it looks like, the per planet. Alright, that's fine. We can just jump in. So here we're happy, we're also overpopulated. Yeah, we're not going to be able to push to ecstatic. Well, I mean, we actually can make some pretty good headway with Stim Cities. That's going to give us another 10. As things stand right now, that's good enough to top us off. But what we might want to look into a little bit more here is terraforming. I don't usually terraform, and that's not because it's not a good thing to do, but rather because, as you may have noticed, I have a limited ability to add to my cognitive load each game. I'm still kind of figuring systems out, because if we're being honest, the first time around, the first Endless Space series, the fact that the game wasn't pushing me to do better meant that I just kind of stopped engaging with new systems after I was doing well enough, right? So the terraform button here lights up once you have some tech that allows you to terraform. We might be able to terraform some of these planets into places that our people don't hate living. It'll change the basic per population outputs of the planets, but there should be a lot of cases where we can do a thing that's not going to hurt our resources too badly, while also improving livability, and in some cases we might be able to just get straight improvements even. Okay, so do we want to change the law? The Green Fertility Bill is good. It is not a bad law. I wish there was some easy breakdown of like exactly what the output of the extra 5% per anomaly resource output was. Unfortunately, I think the only way to do that is to go into each of our systems and try to have a look at it. So let's see here. In Cran, can we adjust the population in a meaningful way? People really don't like to be on these hotter planets. So like this'll help. Yeah, and this planet's actually just better than this one anyway. Oh, see, these we can terraform. So we have the ability to terraform hot planets to savannas or to arid worlds. The food output of this system is not great. Actually, it might be a good idea to terraform one of these. So yeah, the planet would lose a considerable amount of industry per citizen, but would gain food and science, and would be a happier place. And we would gain 2 population slots. So this is something people were talking about in the comments of the last episode. Gaining population slots could make our total industry, or whatever it is that we're losing, output higher, even though we're producing less per citizen, obviously. I think this system could use a big, pleasant world. I don't know if this will have any effect on the what do you call it? The curiosities, the anomalies. That's the word I was looking for. But it seems like we can make this place pretty pleasant and livable, and also producing food at a pretty good rate. Let's go ahead and do some terraforming. I never do this. And by the way, I do want to say again a big thank you to the people who are talking about stuff in the comments, helping me figure out systems that I'm not using effectively and stuff. This series is definitely going better for your for your participation. I don't know I'm all stumble tongue today. So, we're working on this stuff. I guess we should finish going through our systems and checking things out. Duce, can we do anything? We pretty much handled this already. But we also need to talk about ship designs, which we'll do in a second. So let's see. We really, really don't like these very cold worlds. Look at that, -5 approval. To be perfectly honest, we might be happier if we just pulled people off of these worlds entirely. Like, I wanted to have the worlds, but kind of curious about something. So we dropped down 9 points. This is 12 science? Okay. So what I was trying to figure out there was whether having the planet technically colonized, but with 0 population on it, still allows it to count for the purposes of things like public-private partnerships. And I think that it does. We're losing obviously the very high science yield of the planet itself, but we're still getting the 10 science from public-private. Yeah. All right. Well, this system's a little bit happier now. SimCity's not so great here. It is cheap, though. We might need a better happiness solution for this world. Or for this system, rather. We could terraform one of these to an Arctic world, which would make it a little bit more livable. It's not great. How long would it take to do it? It'd only be 2 turns. Lose 4 science, but gain food and dust, and approval, and a population slot. Yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and transform one of those. We might end up transforming them both. I do like the science output. Our people need to be happy. Our people need to be willing to live in the places we're putting them. Alright, so we're massively overpopulated on this world. Actually, you guys would be producing a lot more food if you were over here. It's only 1 point of approval difference, but these guys really should be on sterile worlds. Okay, that didn't really change very much, but we're working on some approval stuff here. It's a start. We're gonna need a large scale solution though, right? Kochab is still settling. This is not really a concern for them. Over here on Kairos, well, I mean, we just need more population slots. We just need that planet. On Leo, so we don't like the cold more than we don't like the hot. No, actually, this lava world is terrible, terrible for us. It's a lot of industry though. And there's actually 0 industry on the other worlds. Oh, there's 2 on this one. Oh yeah, thanks to the posit. Well, unfortunately, I think these guys have to stay unhappy for a little while. We need the production in this lava world. This will help a little bit. At least they're still content. Here's the problem. Noverse has a high population, and people hate living here. But, that said, I don't think we can afford to change the planet type until after Culture Center's done. Once the Culture Center is done, we could take this. I don't know. You guys just try to be happy. You know what we need? We need our next system development to include Transvine. Unfortunately, that means we either need a real source of Transvine or we need there to be a lot on the market. Somebody's selling it, but not a lot of it. We might be able to contact somebody who has some and make periodic trade deals with them. I don't see any over here. It's possible that there aren't any sources of it on in our half of the galaxy. That might be the case. Alright, you're good. You are inhabiting a place that is now run by pirates, but you can search this at least before you bail. Hey, look at that. Ionic crystals. Boy, there sure are a lot of those around. Alright, you probably need to, like, I don't know, get back to here. That's safe-ish. Alright, ship designs. So actually, hold on. Before we do this, do we see any... No, I do not see a single Sophon ship anywhere. So we have no idea what kind of weapon and defense systems they're using. It's not great. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is set up a fighter and bomber delivery system. So let's talk about these systems, because I actually don't really understand them. Did I not pick those up yet? I thought I had, but... Yeah, can only be installed on medium, coordinator, and carrier. Oh, you know what? Because I was looking at attack modules, but they're not attack modules, are they? No, they have their own slot, even. They have their own type. So the bomber deals 50 DPS, projectile-typed DPS. Small crit chance, does more damage against medium and large ships. While the fighter does very poor damage against basically all real ships. But I think the purpose of the fighter is to shoot down bombers, basically. The fighter is like a bomber defense module that also deals some damage to other stuff. So if we just let's pull all of the modules here. Let's build this thing from the ground up. So we probably just want to go bombers for now until we have a better idea of what we're facing. Because even in the place where the bombers do the worst and the fighters do the best, the fighters still do considerably less damage against real ships. I bet they shoot down like boarding pods and stuff too. I'm not certain. I guess it doesn't say, so maybe that's not a safe assumption, but I think we do want to run just like as many bomber modules as possible, just so that I get an idea. It's like we're seeing, what, 50 DPS from these guys? 100. It's 50 base, but it's 100 installed. Do we have a modifier? Okay. It is a medium-sized ship, so it doubles all the modules. Yep, that makes sense. So, by comparison, we're seeing base values, so comparing against the 50, of like 61, 54. So these things are right in line, just a little bit less than, right in line with or a little bit less than the other projectile weapon systems we can use. But bombers are equally effective at all ranges, and as the nose plays pointed out in the comments, I think not even of last video but of the one before, there's an additional effectiveness to them if you're using them from a ship, or if you're using them in a ship that is in one flotilla to attack ships in other flotillas. There are issues with firing arcs and the range of your weapons when you're firing cross flotilla like that. Bombers and fighters are just as effective no matter which flotilla you're shooting at. It's just they may take a little longer to initiate their first attack run. So this makes a particularly good ship for sitting in like the third flotilla before anybody else has unlocked their third one. So let's see, what else do we have here? We have 3 support slots. We have 2 support slots, 2 defense slots, and 1 that's either. We definitely want to run some of these nice engines. In fact, don't we have? We do. We have an engine that increases the movement points of the entire fleet by 1. So let's slot that, and then a Hyperium engine, which is the same engine that most of our other ships should have, will have eventually. And then like a Hyperium analyzer, because that's actually kind of a lot of science. And for defensive modules, I think I'm just going to split it down the middle. And then because we're running bombers, which are all projectile damage, I think our other ship designs in these fleets should be energy weapon based. And that way the enemy will have a really tough time defending. Okay, so we got some carriers here now, some mini carriers. And we should probably update our other basic weapon designs. We don't necessarily need to change a lot about these things. Just slot some new weapons. Oh, we do need the engines are out of date. Let's see here. We do have energy weapon boosting modules, but we don't have a lot of... In fact, there are no support slots on the ship outside of the one where we need to put the engine. So, energy weapons. Let's see here. We have 39 DPS lasers that are mostly effective from mid-range. Or we have your basic positron beam, which has almost the same DPS, but is optimally effective from all ranges. The deal is, I think we've found a better level of beam than we have of laser. So that's a pretty simple ship. Doesn't require any strategics, really. Just like a little bit of Hyperium for the engine. And we'll upgrade the escort ships as well. First of all, these things are getting replaced with Hyperium. Engines are getting replaced with Hyperium. This stuff is getting switched to beams. Alright. We don't have any really fancy weapon modules yet. Unfortunately, we gotta unlock those. I'm pretty sure... Yeah. That's fine. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I didn't have the right engines on these ships, but apparently I designed those after we got those engines. The other thing I want to do before I forget is make sure his ship has good engines. Actually, we should probably just strip his ship all the way down to the... Let's go down to the bolts and rebuild. So we definitely want to be using a proper Hyperium engine. We have another support slot. I had been running probes. We could put in some A2S slugs. We could give him a big health boost. I don't think it makes sense to worry about his chance of being targeted too much. And we could slot him with one of these energy damage boosters. Actually, it is a considerable boost, too. Let's go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to split defenses, as I am doing on all of the ships. We need better projectile defense. Okay, so Leo is attempting to correct its happiness problem. How long would it take for me to build? 5 turns for a medium. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty effective, actually. We put out some okay industry here. So I guess we can put the colonial rights on hold for the moment. We'll finish converting Leo 3 to the spin project, which I guess it's not even a really. That's barely even worth doing. And where are we at on command points? 10, right? Yeah, our fleets have 10 command points available. So, like, a pair of cruisers plus 3 corvettes and an escort is a fleet, maybe? That takes a long time to build. Well, we can accelerate some parts of it with dust. I mean, but just barely. Not ideal. I mean, this is not an ideal system for heavy production. It just doesn't have the population for that. But unfortunately, all of our systems that do have higher population and industry caps are really far away. How many turns would it take you to, like... Jeez. Well... maybe it's dangerous to leave ourselves with no defenses over here, but it would be much easier to build ships and then rush them to, like, Bonnie's defense than it is to do the same thing for Leo. So I guess it makes sense to allocate our existing ships over in this direction. Man, that's an awfully long run. Alright. It'll take us 8 turns to get to here. I know I was going to disengage him and re-equip him over here, but now I think we're going to need all of our ships. I'll keep these guys here, I guess. That seems like an okay thing to do. These guys will play defense as best we can. Probably not anything in either of those directions, but you know, sometimes you get these like weird little systems that are just off the star lanes. Okay. I don't know that our war with the Sophons is necessarily going to go well. I really have no idea because, again, we haven't seen any of their ships in a super long time. Hey, look, we did it, and we received impactless sights. Hey, that's a pretty good tech. So Pulvis production is a good dust generator, and now we have access to the mercenaries and heroes, part of the marketplace. Unfortunately, we don't really have the money to make use of that. Still definitely not doing this. After analyzing the core, you learn that the aliens' homeworld was attacked by a malevolent race of extraterrestrials who conquer planets, quickly strip them of their resources, and then move on. In addition, the core gives you algorithms to predict their next target. Ooh. Heavy plasma bombers, made of adamantium, unfortunately. Or heavy P-laser fighters, made of antimatter, rather. It would be nice if they were made of adamantium. Well, I would much rather have bombers than fighters, I think. So orbit Botha until the enemy fleet appears. Boy, which one's Botha? Is there a button for this? I mean, this is the version we're going to take. Okay, so we gotta send some ships to Botha. That's where all those rebel spies come from. I guess we could just try to send these guys with, like, we're talking 6 turns of travel? Oh, sorry, not the patrol ship. These guys, who have considerably less movement, it would take 12 turns to get there. You know what? We're gonna make some new ships on Trappist 1. Is what we're going to do. We'll make like a cruiser and a couple of corvettes. Run with it, and that should probably, I think, handle it. This will be done considerably faster than running those other ships over. Throw big data shipyards on the front here so that we can get a little bit of free XP. Also, an undercover documentary concerning a makeshift community who live in one of your planet's biggest refuse facilities has become a loaded political issue. Many are scraping a living in the system's dumps, scavenging for recycled materials while setting up their homes in the very same places. Amenities have followed, and these places are now lively, if polluted and dangerous, hubs. Environmental groups demand that action is taken, that industries need to manage their resources better and not fuel these communities. Others suggest going even further and monetizing these places more effectively. In essence, they advocate greater ties between industry and the refuse sites. Well, boy, this is a problem. We need approval, but we also really need industry. We're producing ships, we're getting ready for a war. Like, this is the time when industry lost is least acceptable, I think, which is part of why I didn't turn on that approval law. And we're still working on our very important wonder over here. I think we gotta choose to enhance these dump communities, unfortunately, at the cost of even more of our influence.
Than I would trust a clan merchant selling Kasai.
Okay. So we moved our fleet through their territory, at least we're trying to. And they are demanding that we leave. If we accept, it will bounce our fleets out of their territory in the nearest direction, I believe, which unfortunately will mean that our hero fleet is going to have a hard time getting to the Sophons. Obviously, this is not the option I want. In addition, reducing our influence pressure on them would mean that Duce is in even more danger. So I think we gotta refuse. The fleets are just passing through. This is a normal thing. You just need to calm down. Everything's gonna be fine as long as you don't make this an international incident. Okay, so they have essentially denounced us to other empires, which has reduced our pressure against other empires, which is not a problem, really. The only place where it's even a little bit of an issue is here on Leo. So, I'm still worried about this. It's possible that Bonnie will start pushing back the wall here on Centaurus enough that this won't even ever be an issue. And if we can get Centaurus' Duce's happiness up, then we'll be producing a lot more influence here. Yeah, Stim City will help a lot. We might be okay. Honestly, should I just buy this? Yeah, let's rush this. I have other stuff I want to be working on here. Like, colonizing that world. Okay, this Lost Horatio vessel is just... get me data. Alright. They might still close their borders on us. Very possible. Oh, hey, we met somebody. Or, sorry, we just discovered the homeworld of Green. Yeah, so Green started... hold on. The Green started very close to the middle. Everybody's very chatty with us. We discovered Dark Glitter. Okay, we don't need this. Population decreasing on Bonnie. Are we losing food? We are losing food. Okay, we need to... Oh. Bonnie is sending food transports. It's losing 104 food per turn because it's sending out transports. That's we're losing population because we're effectively mailing it to Kochab. That's fine, I guess. How much longer are we talking about? Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm not going to panic. We're good.
By my cloth, your actions deserve the closest.
Yeah. Well, this sucks. So if I refuse, we will lose 35% of our influence for 10 turns. We really can't do... like, we need to be producing as much influence as possible. So unfortunately, we're going to give them 1,200 dust that it's going to take us forever to make back up. It's alright. They'll be dead soon enough. Oh man, I bet their worlds have all kinds of cool stuff on them too. Plus, you know what? If we're talking about conquering, we gotta worry about this a little bit. Well, we did just move up the Empire Development thing into the 4th tier. So we do have the ability to take cultural inverdicts here, which not only will give us 2 extra systems on our overcolonization value, but will give us the ability to build the system improvement that makes that system not count toward our overpopulation. We can also pick up supralight content systems, which is what gives us the ability to conquer planets peacefully with influence. We also will get a better version of the planetary specialization that gives influence. So that's something to think about. I know we want liquid composites, obviously, because those big carrier ships are going to be terrifying. Also, Zelavis Incarnate is pretty good. Man. We have a lot of needs right now. I think we gotta go cultural inverdicts. We need access to the Wellbeing Foundation. I know it takes antimatter to build, which is a little awkward for us. Actually, maybe what we need to do is get extreme atmospherics. We need to start being able to mine antimatter. Because we have deposits available to us. But we're gonna actually start needing this stuff pretty soon. And hey, look, even more ionic crystals. Things are remarkably common. Well, I think we're all just kind of sitting over here. Alright, Kochab is about to turn into a proper colony. We are now at our colonization limit, so we gotta be careful. Oh, we gained control over the system. Over the constellation. Cool. Why would I... Sofan's got a real short memory. Unfortunately, we have a real long spin-up on our plan here. Well, doesn't look like I've probed out here very much. Just like desperately trying to find more systems. Okay, all of our ships have all the orders I'm giving them. Just sit around and generate probes for the rest of the time. Alright, approval in this system is going to be a problem. We don't have a lot of luxury stuff, so Stim City is not really going to be effective. Yeah, this is just bad. It's just crappy. A crappy place to live. Like, even these buildings are not going to be any good here. Well, let's get to creating industry. Everybody else is doing important stuff. We're just waiting for ships to build, mostly. So here we have a temperate world. This will be 20 influence immediately. We'll do like this. Obviously modernization first. And people are not too unhappy to live here. Producing good resources, an actual reasonable amount of food, adamantium. Yeah, this is a good world. We have settled some not so good systems for important strategic reasons. Sophans are blockading the Vaulters. I mean, we know they're at war, I guess. This is not too surprising. Alright, this system is ecstatic. That's cool. this is a fair amount of dust now. We do eventually need to produce enough dust. I think I would like to, rather, produce enough dust that we can start buying things out more reliably. I guess we also should get a little bit more population space here. Getting our Academy Embassy earlier so that we can get more heroes is probably more important. Oh, you know what? Actually, I forgot. Now that we actually have antimatter, this is a thing that is worth something now. Oh, up there. Okay, there we go. That's actually going to provide an amount of industry that matters to that system now. Where else might there be stuff? Come to Kairos. There's some area over here we haven't probed yet. Yep, and you're just waiting. At some point here, we're going to have to try to send one of these ships out to the other side of the universe. Other side of the galaxy, rather. What does it cost to rush these ships? They're not really that expensive in influence. Like, yeah, let's use as much influence as we can to, like, really push this. Right now, the ships are my primary concern. Yeah, that's getting real close to the actual system. Alright, yeah, somebody else is going to win the food fight quest. That's not really a big deal. We never had a chance on that one anyway. The latest political survey shows nothing terribly interesting, except for the fact that, you know, the parties that keep winning are not predicted to win. Okay, Bonnie is back to being a little happier. Good old Dmitri can give us a flat science boost. I don't know that he has anything else he could do that's quite as valuable. He's on Bonnie. So actually, hold on. How good is 10 approval here right now? Not that good, actually. Turns out to not be useful. Alright, just give me some science then. It's a good flat science boost. Alright, so we made this world Arctic. It's a little bit less unpleasant now. I'm kind of thinking, though, we maybe want to just keep all of the population on Dill 1 for the time being until we've completely filled it. And then we'll spill over to Dill 4 and then to the others from there. So, that being the case, like, xenotourism is effective, right, since it covers all of the population of the system right now. And at some point we should, like, turn on the Spin Project, just so I don't have to remember to do it when people start actually living there. Okay, we only have 4 antimatter coming in per turn. That's got to get boosted. And that opened up the Tier 3 system improvements. So, what to modernize with next? I'd really like to go Transvine, especially since I suspect we are going to be pushing past our overcolonization barrier, but obviously we only have enough Transvine to do that once, so we'd have to find some more, which is maybe not something we can do. We are actually bringing in Eden Incense. And that's a useful thing, just plus 30 flat influence. We're not bringing in ionic crystals, but that's probably not going to be true forever. We know where there are a lot of them, we just aren't mining them at the moment. The other thing we can do is Jadonics again, because it's plentiful. But we're bringing in 21 a turn. That's crazy. Hold on, before we make any other decisions here, what is plentiful on the marketplace? Alright, people are selling Red Sang, Super Spuds, deciduous trees to a certain extent. Honestly. Red Sang on new and growing systems is pretty powerful. So, like, what if we made it Red Sang Eden Incense? Every time we settle a new world, we just throw in all the production and then all the food right afterward. We'll have to buy all of the Red Sang we want to use for this, but that actually seems like it should be doable. I mean, I know that we're not making a lot of money right now, but remember, we can sell Jadonics and Super Spuds. I'm going to try this, I think. Yeah. Alright, speaking of which, prices are high right now, so maybe we should divest ourselves of some of this stuff. Like, I don't know, 250 of this stuff. I don't know what we're going to need even that many for. And then we buy some Red Sang. Like, I don't know. What was it, 75 per? So 300 Red Sang is... yeah, it's going to be way too much. So we can't buy a lot right away. We can buy enough to do 2 upgrades. So what systems have a reasonable population cap but are having trouble growing? I think those are the places that need it most. Also, places on the border. So like Bonnie, Duce, Novarus has a good population, like a total population cap, but we need to actually get these worlds under control. I would really like to do this here. Yeah, the culture center is a flat influence and system level based influence increaser. So this is helpful on both fronts. We need to colonize these planets, though. Lava and ash. Also, luxuries lottery. Yeah, okay. Let's grab these 2. We need to expand our... man, this is all very distracting. Like, we have other stuff we need to be doing. But I think we need these. These are... not having these is hurting us in several places. And at this point, if you couldn't tell, I've basically kind of decided we're not going to bother pushing for our the next step of our faction quest. It doesn't really help us that much to get it. So, you know, it's not going to change our population or anything, so... Trade companies are nice, but getting to 6 is... that's a heck of a thing. Alright, I'm going to see how quickly we can just buzz through everybody else's territory. I'm going to try to get to the middle. I'm assuming this is a minor faction planet, and not... or a minor faction system, and not a Vaulter system all the way over here on the other side of green and pink. Seems unlikely that they would be over there. Alright. Yeah, we do still need to produce more dust. This is nice, though. When you're heavy on influence, you can, you know, get these little things. Ah, yes, the mind control helmet. A brilliant inventor from the Bonnie system has created a wondrous piece of technology, a neural device that allows one to temporarily control the thoughts and actions of another. Unfortunately, the inventor only created one and passed away shortly after testing it for the first time. We should destroy that. Approval. Approval good. Okay, they were offering me something, but something changed, and now I will never know what happened. Alright, so we now have the ability to colonize ash planets. Yeah, I think this is a reasonable order to queue these things in. Novarus is going to produce a lot of influence. Okay. We are 1 turn away from arriving in sort of ambush position. We can buy another Corvette out. We could buy one out with dust, but I don't really want to do that. I think we'll hold off on the dust for now. You know what? This system could actually use the level 3 modernization. How many turns are we away from having enough Eden Blossom? 3? Okay. That's fine. We can wait. I'm not going to buy it. We certainly have other stuff going on right now. But plus food would be valuable here. And actually, it producing lots of influence, I guess, is not super important if the war stuff works out, because obviously we'll just own all of this, and so we won't need to push out on it. But in case it doesn't, it'll be nice for that planet to have a functional area of influence. Let's see here. We think we're going to grow amoeba population next. I'm fine with that, I think. Where are we on... Sorry, this is the screen I want. Red Sang is the preferred resource of our main population type. That's interesting. So we could burn a bunch of Red Sang right now to double our population effects. I'm not sure if it doubles the collection effects as well, but it also will make Imperials more likely to be born on all of our planets. And I kind of think that that's where I want to be. We could buy more Red Sang. Okay, it does not increase collection effects, but this will be relevant, like immediately. Okay, well, you should probably go ahead and spin project, and we're ecstatic again. These people don't know what they want. So, what do we want? Well, we probably want predictive logistics next. I think that's pretty good. Alright, it's coming along. Now, unfortunately, I am a little bit short on time today, and I do apologize for that. But I want to get this finished. I want to get like a sense of how the influence war is going over here before we stop. Alright, we're in.
Wish to push us to the breaking point.
This is a very annoying thing for people to keep doing to us. We really can't afford this right now. We can't super afford the other thing either.
Wish to push us to the breaking point.
Alright. We're gonna have some words with her.
The church is feared by all. I wonder why you insist on calling it down upon yourself.
Okay, so she's increasing her pressure on us, but like, that doesn't do anything. I'm not worried about that. How close are we to being done with the builds on Trappist? Close. Close enough. Close enough that we can go, I think, and start orbiting the world. Because I bet it'll take a second for the... It'll take a few turns for the pirates to show up, right? Yeah, orbit the world for 10 turns, in fact. Yeah, we can start orbiting it now. Actually, should have started almost right away. Something on Hadar is pulsing, but I don't know what. Why is this doing this? Oh, because this is the planet for this. To get this new cool kind of plating, that's the planet we have to terraform. Okay, you... There's a lot of space out here that is in this galaxy. Super weird that we're having such a hard time finding anything out here. I mean, maybe it's just empty. Weird, but not impossible. Alright, we're staying relatively happy over here. This is not very good. We don't have a lot of anomalies in the system. No, we probably should start focusing on dust. We do need to get our dust up. Because as it is, we're being slowly bled to death by payments that are being forced on us via influence. So you're good where you are, you're good where you are. Yeah, we are ready to launch a two-pronged assault. Oh, these guys aren't retrofitted. I guess some of these aren't even my ships. Yeah, whatever. We'll just surprise... we'll surprise them at, like, Julian or something. It's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Okay, looks like we're getting a new hero. That's cool. I don't know what kind of pirate fleet is going to show up here at Botha, but I bet it's not going to be very dangerous. Certainly not going to be a match for what we're running there. Okay, very helpful. 20 extra industry or 20 extra influence plus 5%. We do need to get trading companies. Oh, we're being attacked. At Procyon. Ah. Boy, I wish I had any idea which Starling it was going to retreat along. I mean, we retreat. We can't win the fight, so... Okay, good. It is going along the one that appears like it might be empty. Alright, over here at Kairos, we are now still totally miserable. Well, let's start working on it. Kairos doesn't need... Yeah, it doesn't need to push influence or anything. And Kochab... Kochab could just use stuff, right? We're still in the just getting your basic yields established place with this one. Happening quickly, though. Alright, so Novaris now has the ability to colonize both of its remaining planets. Yeah, this place is going to be powerful. Kind of want to grab commercial frameworks while we're over here. Just so we can get headquarters, trade companies started, because we have two different heroes now that would get a significant boost to influence if we had at least one trade company. I'm delaying my warships even more, but I kind of, like... We might be good. It might be that the warships we have now are good enough. Alright, let's see here. A Guardian Imperial, a Counselor Lumeris, or a Guardian Technologist. I'm assuming the Technologist part of the tree is mostly ship stuff and science stuff. Is in fact the case. Plus percentage science, obviously, always good. Shield capacity, shield penetration... So, a Technologist Guardian is actually a pretty good combat hero. And we do have a combat fleet that could benefit from such a person. We have another Guardian over here. Guardians are not great as governors, generally. This Lumeris Counselor... I mean, I do like counselors. Also, he's an industrialist. I think we already have an industrialist party leader. You know, I kind of want to get another commander, and I think a technologist is uniquely suited. We're going to be converting into a pretty aggressive wartime stance here in a second. So, 20% extra health on his fleet. And I guess hull plating penetration is valuable for the bombers, at least. I'm assuming that this will affect the bombers. Okay, we're getting really close to being done on this front. Alright, so Novaris is now outputting 81. In a couple of turns, it'll be even higher. We are very unhappy here, though. This system's population is emigrating to Mizar. Well, don't do that. What are you emigrating to Mizar for? Unhappiness is a real issue. Alright, we'll get some colonial rights up in here. We could probably terraform one of these planets. Man, the Ambler are well suited to this system. Like, what if we terraform this to a desert? We'd lose a bunch of production, but I kind of think that's okay. It would remain a hot, sterile world. So it'll still benefit from the Ambler's bonus as well as the AI labor bonus, which is about to be available to us. That'll help. Yeah, that'll help. It's a little slower than I would like. This is mostly what's giving me pause over here. We're working on it. Could we... Actually, were there any slots left? There are not any slots left on the Toxic World. Actually, they hate living on the Toxic World, too. This is just always going to be an unhappy system, because the worlds are unpleasant for us to be on. Okay, I mean, you're basically just waiting for this thing to go off. Hey, look! Sophons. They are largely energy weapon based with projectile defenses. They have medium ships. They have a 10 command point limit right now. This is maybe not great. This kind of sucks for us. They are... I think our ships... Our shielding modules are way better than our projectile defense modules, so that's good for us at least. We're well defended against them, and they're only well defended against half of our ships, which of course was the idea. This is annoying. It's a problem we'll solve later. We got a lot of problems right now. So I'm kind of curious, like, this is still obviously making progress. This is not great for us. Yep, it is creeping forward visibly every turn. We might have to pop Centaurus. Okay. We are not, in fact, the winner of that quest.
Do you really wish to push us to the breaking point?
Alright, we're being threatened. I mean, if she declares on us, then we just become friends with the Sophons for a while, right? Bonnie should probably pick up this other planet. People are going to hate living here, though. Probably better that we just let population continue to develop here, I guess, for now. AI labor is a good way to go. We have a hot world and a sterile world. Or, sorry, this world's fertile and cold. Well, population of this world will get... This is an extra 25 industry. Is that the right thing to do? Maybe the right thing to do is to build some ships, actually. Given the way things seem to be going.
Wish to push us to the breaking point.
Alright, well, they're complaining about expansion. They are getting bottled up pretty badly. They could go this way. They actually still have Scythe and Regulus and Rookbat, which are not actually settled. So basically they're lying to us. They're trying to concoct a good story about why they're about to attack us. Not totally ideal. But I think we can take them. We can at least learn to take them. Even if we're not able to do it right now. So we're 2 turns off of having... Actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and rush this. Trappist has finished its fleet. Alright, well... I think we're just about ready to get into this war. We have a lot of different ways of giving 10 approval to this system. That'll be enough to push it to ecstatic. For the moment, at least. Oh, we didn't fiddle with his ship. Let's go with the Hyperium engines. Damage booster. I mean, I think I'm just going to, for now, set his ship up the same way we set the other hero up. Alright, spent a little bit of money on that, but it is going to turn out to have been worth it, I'm sure. Alright, Trappist has one hot world and no sterile worlds, so AI labor is not amazing here. Maybe go for pulvis production. We need to offset our growing military and system upkeep costs. Unfortunately, this is a thing you cannot use influence for. We also do have lots of goods we can sell in the marketplace, but it's obviously not terribly steady income. I keep forgetting that there's this probe ship sitting here, because it doesn't ask for orders while it's at a place where the guard action is taking place. It technically was in on the guarding, not that it would have been very effective. Alright, we are about to go to war, but unfortunately this is where I'm going to have to call it for today. I see these Sophan ships, I'm a little worried. So we're seeing 1584 offense value. Now that offense value is not a huge indicator, but you will notice that it's a lot higher than ours. And it looks like the fighter modules just don't give offense value to the actual ship. Is that the case? Like, what if we took our cruiser, and we cut one of these, and we put in, like, one of the laser modules? Yeah, okay. It goes up tremendously. So, the values on our cruisers are not actually meaningful. Well, to compare our small ships to theirs, we're seeing 281, 190 versus 251, 159. And we are actually pretty well adapted to their defenses with all of the non-bomber ships. Yeah, alright. I don't know. I don't have any idea how this war is going to go. Also, I ended up going way over the amount of time I was expecting. Anyway, that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Come back next time. The lasers and bombers are going to start flying. I have no idea what's going to happen. And we'll see you then.